Hello everyone, this is Afsa Ali. So this is a continuation of my previous video series on Webdriver Cucumber version 7. And in this video, we're gonna learn how we can Dockerize the automation test, then integrate with GitHub Actions. Then we'll see how we can generate the HTML reports, then Selenium grid integration and Docker Compose file. So these are the topics that we are gonna complete in this particular video. You can find my previous videos on this part 4. Okay, so you can search in here, or you can also get the link in the current video descriptions, where I have put all the part 1, part 2 and part 3 of the video series, where you can see end-to-end flow. All right. Also, I'll be providing the GitHub link over here in this current video description. You can open GitHub, then you can see. So this is the previous branch. Okay, so for current branch, I'll be creating another branch called YouTube, then class 5 for this current video, right? So here you can get all the codes, whatever we are going to do today. All right. Okay, so without doing any further delay, let's get started. So this is my branch, master branch, you can see over here. So what I do first is I'll just create one branch, git checkout -b YouTube class 5. All right, so this is my new branch. Okay, then what I do, I'll just push this branch as well. Git push -u origin. I'll just push this branch. All right, so this branch is being pushed over here, and you can see, uh, should be able to see one more branch. Okay, class 5. Okay, all the changes for this particular video, I'll be pushing to this particular branch. All right, so what do we need to do to Dockerize this application, right? Before Dockerizing, let's see whether this is working fine or not. So everything should work fine before we try to Dockerize it, right? So how to run this particular test? So you can go over here, as we see in the previous videos also, in the package.json. Basically, we'll need to run, okay, this test, or maybe if you want to run a particular tag based, then you can run this one. All right. So what I do, I'll just run npm run test, and you can see our test gets started, right? So it's starting, and there are some error. So this error says fail to create the session, session not created. The version of the Chrome driver only support the Chrome current. Okay, so some version issue. The current browser version is 100. So what we need to do is, so you need to go over here, npm.js, just search for that. Okay, here Chrome driver. So latest Chrome driver, you can see what is the latest Chrome driver available, and based on that you can download the latest Chrome driver version. All right, so yeah, so what you can do, you can just install npm install. Okay, npm install @ is the latest version you can grab from here, and just try to paste like this. Okay, so it will try to install the latest Chrome driver version. So now you can see here the latest Chrome driver version is 100. Should be added over here. Chrome driver version is 100, and the browser version also, I think, 100. That's why you need to install that latest Chrome driver version, or maybe whichever Chrome version, Chrome browser version you have. Based on that, you need to install it. So you can check, I think in here somewhere should be there, to check the Chrome, about the Chrome, Google Chrome version. Okay, so this is the 99. I think it will just update to 100. So we'll see if this doesn't work, then we can just change to 90. npm run test. Okay, Let's see whether this time it works or not. All right, I think now session got created. Okay, yeah, it's working fine, I believe. So basically, it is running in headless mode. You can see the configuration in here. What is uh, see? Yeah, you can see in here headless mode. Okay, whenever you want to run in the Docker environment or from anywhere in the remote, then most probably you need to use the headless and no sandbox, right? All right, you can see now the test got passed. Okay, all three scenarios, four scenarios got passed already. All right, so this is working fine. Great. So the next step, what we need to do is to Dockerize this thing. What we need to do is create a new file called Docker file. All right. So once you have the Docker file, what you need to do is you need to use from base image, right? Base image means for each Docker file, it needs a base image where base image contains the operating system itself, Alpine or maybe Ubuntu, right? Those kind of or maybe Windows Server, something like that. So we do have, I think, currently one of the image which uses Ubuntu and also the node and the Chrome browser both are installed within that, so we can get it from here. I think the okay, so within this within this Docker WebDriver IO website itself, we can get the latest Puppeteer latest. This is the image which has one of the operating system, and also it contains the Chrome browser installed within that image. So no need to use, or you can also build your own image also. You can just get the Ubuntu over here, but you need to do is uh, you need to install the one second Node version, Node.js or npm. Okay, then you need to install the Chrome browser. Then you need to install the Chrome driver. Okay, so these things you need to install if you just use the Ubuntu over here. Okay, Ubuntu image. So this image already contains those, so no need to worry on installation of these particular things, right? So that's why I'm just using the default one. So then working directory. So what it will do within this base image, it will create one more folder called app. Then within the app, it will be like our working directory. So whatever this add will do, basically it will add whatever present within the current directory. Dot means the current directory within over here within this Docker files current directory. Everything it will just move or copy within this app directory. All right, or you can use also copy. Okay, then we need to run npm install. Okay, so to make sure everything is installed over here. The next thing is you need to run npm whatever you run the command you ran right last time, npm run test or whatever, you need to use the same. All right, to run your test. So first of all, what you need to do is just go over here. So you can run npm run test, this one. Then after that, we need to generate the Cucumber HTML report also. So there are two command that you need to run. Okay, so to run the two command also you can just use over here. Okay, and operator. So the first one is npm run test, right? It will run your test. Then after that is being completed and means you are running one more command over here, npm run generate report cucumber html. So the same thing from here, this one I ran over here. All right. So this is what exactly you need to do in a Docker file, nothing else. Fine. So before running any Docker command here, so what I would suggest, you need to install Docker in your machine first, right? So you need to check and you need to log in using the Docker login command. So I'll not be going through how to install the Docker in your machine. You can get a lot of videos on that, and you just try to follow them and try to make sure your Docker is installed in your machine. All right. So after that, what you need to do is you need to build the Docker image. All right. So for building the Docker image, okay. So this is from the Docker file. You need to build this first. Then we need to push it to somewhere in the repository, or maybe you can locally also you can run it. All right. So I have already installed the Docker in my machine, so that's why I'm able to run the docker build command over here. Okay, so docker build, okay, minus t is tag WebDriver, or maybe I can say some name. You can say automation image. All right, and uh, after that you need to run space then dot. All right, so space and dot. So this is the tag name, the name that you want to provide, then dot. All right, so let's see how it is running or not. Okay, it will take some time to uh, pull the image, the base image from the Docker hub. All right, you need to wait for some time. Now you can see this is pull this image, then is adding everything from here to the app. Okay, then after that it will run npm install. Then it will keep this one. It will not run the npm, the cmd command. It will not run. So when you run docker image, right, docker container itself, this particular thing will be executed. Okay, so there are two things to run your test. One is entry point, okay, and another one is the cmd, the command that whichever you want to run your test. Okay, the same thing would be for maven or any other application that you are running. Okay, it will try to now run the npm install. It will take some time. Okay, now we can see the image is built over here. Okay, successfully tagged automation image latest. So to see that image is built or not, okay, you can just type docker ps -a, and you can see all the images available in your machine. So I do have a lot of images already, and I can see here our new image. Hopefully I can find it. Okay, to see the Docker images, basically you need to use Docker images command. Okay, so yeah, I just now uh, build this image, right? So you can see automation image is being created, and this is the base image that is also being pulled, right? So this is the one which has a size 1.29 GB. Okay, so this is a little heavier, but you can also try to build your own image with your base image, so that can, or maybe you can use Alpine or something, so that will have a less size, right? Later we'll do that as well. All right, so you can see this is my image already built what I do now is I'll just, if I want to run it, how we can run it. So command for that is docker run, right? Docker run, then image name. Okay, so first thing you need to do is build, then docker run. Right? So let's see whether this is running or not. Now you can see this command, the cmd command is running over here. All right, so let's see what's happening. Okay, so the thing is here is saying this version of the Chrome driver only support Chrome version 100. Okay, because sorry, Chrome drivers support the 100, but the current browser version is 84 within this image. Okay, so this image built I think long back, so that's why. Okay, 21 months ago. So that's why the Chrome version on this image is 84 that time. All right. So for that, what I need to do is just see whatever the version you can find in here. Okay, the Chrome driver version, the previous versions, so we can see. Okay, you can go in here, 138 versions. We need 84, right? 84. So I think this one should work. 84. Uh, 84.0.1. Okay. Okay, let's see. We try with this version. What you need to do is you just go over here in package.json. Instead of Chrome driver 100, I use this. All right. Then again try the, okay, instead of that, I can use the same Docker build. Okay, each time whatever the change that you made into your repository, you need to build a new image. All right, so it will try to run the same command whatever present within the Docker file. Okay, it's trying to add it. Okay, image build. Now let's run docker run, then the image name. All right, the image name is this. So let's see this time it's a work. All right, I think session got created. Yeah, I think it's working fine now. Okay, all going good. Okay, now we can see the test being completed. Also, you can see here this Cucumber report also being generated successfully. All right, you can also get the report within the container also using copy command also. Okay, we'll see when we try to integrate this whole process in GitHub Actions as well. All right. So, okay, what we do now is we go ahead here. Okay, so we know we already have this class 5, all right? I push the changes, whatever we did. Okay, now git push. Okay, so all changes are now pushed to uh, GitHub. Fine. Now, next thing what we need to do is we'll see the GitHub Actions workflow. Okay. So previously we did integration with the GitHub Actions already. Okay. So what I do now, I'll just remove some of the commented code first. Okay. Then we'll see how we can integrate Docker. All right. So we go here in the actions. Okay. You can also create a new workflow. Okay, here you can search for Docker. Sorry, doc. All right, let's see. Let me find in here. Choose the workflow. Sorry. Okay, you just go ahead with the Node.js. Then, okay, here you can see so Ubuntu latest, then Node version is this, then some checkout will happen, then npm run, npm test, whatever. So this is what we already have, right? So what we need extra is Docker. So you need to go here, the marketplace, then Docker build X setup. So just go ahead with this. Okay, so you can also copy whatever present in here, and based on your requirement you can just remove and keep some of the informations over here. And I would say here, okay, so this is something you can do. So I'll not be doing in here because I already have the configuration for the Docker. Okay, before that I'll just remove everything. Okay, maybe I'll just remove from here till the last. All right, so we also remove this because we no longer we need npm install from here. Okay, we want to run within the docker image itself. So first Docker build we'll be doing, then after that we'll be doing the Docker run. Okay. Okay, so here we can see we added this one, set up docker buildx. So it will set up the docker environment first. Okay, id is a buildx, then uses docker setup buildx, this action v1. Okay, so you need to use this one. Then the next thing is you need to use build docker image with this docker file. So dot, this is the current directory. Okay, context is the current directory. Then setup build output name, it will just use this one. Okay, just use the default automation. This is the tag name that we provided in our command line when we are trying to build this image, right? This image name. Okay, so this is the automation test image and the tag is latest. Then cache this, so just copy whatever written over here. Fine. The next thing that is once that is being built, we need to check whether this is build is correct or not. Fine. What I do, I'll just save it and push it to uh, repo. Let's see whether this is all works fine or not. Docker image. Okay, git push. All right. So in here, let's see in the actions whether this is running or not. There is some failure. Seems we'll see what is exactly the failure. You have an error in YAML syntax in line number 40. Okay, so in the line number 40, there is a error. I believe this is because of this. Yeah, I think because of this. Let's see. Okay, so seems again the error. Line number 40. What I do, I'll just use this. Let's see. Uh, Indentation is correct or not? should be okay, I think. Okay, let's do again. And this time is the same or okay. Again the failure. Line number 40. 40. Oh no. Basically, it's not running, I believe. Okay. Add a Docker image. Okay, so the thing was, I needed to change this from master to this current branch over here, because on push to master only it was triggered. So when I changed to YouTube hyphen class, so class 5, this is the current branch that I'm working on. So when I push this commit changes, then you can see now a new uh, build got triggered over here. All right, and now I can see whatever the changes currently happening. The build Docker image is happening. Then after that, it will check the Docker image version, and if that works, okay, I think that would be all. Okay, still running. Okay, so the build happened. Then Docker images. So the images also you can see this automation image latest. So this is the new image is being created. All right. So we will try to minimize the image size later on. Okay. Now it's 1.45 GB is a bit huge. So normally we need to use Alpine or something to have a very less memory. All right. So now that is fine. The next thing what we need to do is we need to run our automation, right? Now I can do like this. Uh, Docker run the image name, whatever the image that we have over here. Okay, you can use whatever tag available. Then I can say automation test. So this one will run our automation test. Okay, when I just push it, commit, push. Now we should see another build should be triggered over here. Okay, it's triggered and it is setting up. All right, so the image also built successfully, I think. Yeah, still pulling that image because 1.45 GB. Okay, now npm install is happening. Okay, npm install finished. Now it will check with the Docker images list. Okay, now we can see it's our test is being executing right within the Docker container. So it's not within the GitHub Actions environment, it is within the container, all right? Because this is the one is running on now within the container itself. All right, so we'll see. All right, you can see now this test got passed. The all four scenario got executed and passed. All right, and also the Cucumber HTML report also is being generated successfully. All right, so the next thing that we need to see how we can get this Cucumber HTML report from the container and how we can get that report, right? Because this is everything happening within the container. We need to get the report as a artifact over here. How we can do that, we'll see now. As we know, the HTML report will be generated within the reporter folder, right? So when because previously I ran this test, now if I want to run the generate Cucumber HTML report, let's see how it will work. Npm run this, then I should see a reporter being generated. Here you can see within this directory, reporter directory, this HTML is being generated. All right. So what we need to do now is we need to get this HTML report. Okay, copy from here to outside of the container. Okay, is there any way that we can do that? Because within this container, uh, within this reporter folder itself, this HTML report would have been present, right? So now what we need to do is from the container, we need to copy that, okay, from this container itself, we need to get that HTML report and make it available within this main GitHub Actions Ubuntu environment or whichever environment that currently we are running on. We want to make it available, right? So the way that we can do is we can do it mounting the volume with the current directory to within the application within the Docker container itself, right? So basically, this is our container, and within the container, you can see we have app directory. Within that app directory, there will have another reporter directory there, and then HTML report file would have been there, right? When we run this second command, npm run generate cucumber HTML, so that means it will be present within. This is a separate machine. You can say, or you can assume that this is a separate OS operating system, a new uh, machine itself, and within this machine we have app directory, and within app directory our application is running, right? And within that app directory we have this reporter folder also. So what we need to do is we need to mount the volume of this app directory reporter with our current operating system which runs our Docker image or Docker container, right? So the way that we can do is we here in the, because this is our main machine that is running our Docker container. Within the container, as I said, these all things are present, right? Yeah. So what I do here is this is our run command, right? We can run, sorry, we can use volume then the current directory pwd, it will just return, or yeah, it's the current directory, whatever, right? Then we have a reporter folder. Okay, within this current directory also there will be our reporter folder, and this is basically we are mounting the volume of the container. So this is your left side here. This portion is your machine which is running the Docker image or Docker container, and right side is the directory present within this image itself, right? The Docker image, or you can see the machine where your test is being running in the Docker environment. Okay, so the directory is app, then there is a new folder called reporter. So this is that directory, this one. Okay, within the Docker image. All right, so now you have this within this reporter directory, whichever present all the information in the reporter directory, you will get it in the current machine's reporter folder. Or maybe you can have any other folder also you can specify over here. All right. Then we'll see. Then what we need to do once you have that HTML into your current reporter directory or reporter folder, then what you can do is generate the artifact. Okay, to generate the artifact like we did in the last time, right? You can just upload that HTML report to the yeah, and you can just download to see the artifact also. Okay, now we can see this upload artifact, right? So upload artifact in so name would be HTML reports. Then the path, basically this is my current directories. Okay, this is your GitHub Actions uh, OS or the operating system where you're running the test. Okay, so that is the that is the reporter directory. Then within that we have Cucumber report.html. So this is the file that is being generated. So we'll be just copying that particular file. All right. So now let's commit these changes. Git add all, git commit -m, add docker volume for a reporter. All right. Then git push, and let's see this time the new artifact is being generated or not. Okay. Now go to here, actions. Okay, there is some error over here. Some indentation issues. 47. I believe this is here. Yeah, I think that is that. Not sure, some indentation issue most of the time. Hopefully this time is correct. Oh yeah, it's correct now. It's running migration, starting the job. Yeah, sometime these agents are busy. Okay, so building the image. We have then check Docker images list, then run automation test, then upload the artifact. Okay, now we can see this upload artifact is being successful. Now we should see in here the summary one HTML report. I can download that HTML report. Okay, save in here, then open that. Okay, so you can see in here this reporter. I'll just open in here in the same browser, and now you can see uh, for scenarios. Okay, now see all the tests got passed, and screenshots available. All right, this is for the test data that we provided in the feature files. So this is how we can do like within this Docker image, right? We can read that report from this Docker container itself, right? So far all good. The next thing that we need to do is let's integrate Selenium grid, right, with this. So instead of using this image, if you go to the Docker file, right, so this particular image is quite big because it contains browsers and also some, yeah, browser and node, etc. So what we do, we can use only Alpine version of node that is only 100 MB or 200 MB maximum, right? Within that, then you can do all this thing except your browser installation, right? So what we can do, instead of uh, having your browser in here, so within the same container, instead of running like that, you can have a Selenium grid, meaning your Chrome browser would be in another container and you will be running your test from this container, right? So to do that, what we need to do is in here, let's see, I'll try to run uh, another Docker container that is called Selenium Grid. Okay, to get that, you can have here Selenium Grid Docker. You can search. Okay, I have, sorry. Here you can just go to this Selenium HQ, right? Docker Selenium, and just copy. I think the standalone one would be good also. Okay, so just copy this thing from here and should be good. Or you can, if you want to have here also this one also you can copy. All right. So what we do now, I can do here name set up Selenium grid with Chrome browser. Okay, run. This is your command you need to run. Okay, the port is 444. So this is the default port basically within this container, and this is the port that we are exposing to this particular uh, operating system where you are running your Selenium tests. All right, so this is the image this is the standalone Chrome image that will be pulling. Okay, so this is the minus D means it is in a detached mode, so you won't see any logs, right? So you'll just run it and keep it like that there, right? Make sure you use this minus D over here. It's a very important. Otherwise, it will not execute the other commands that you have running because it will just run in the attached mode. All right. So this is what. So the thing is, you need to make sure your Selenium grid is running first, then you run your test for next, right? So to make sure that you have to set up, you need to set up your image Selenium grid before your test, right? So in here, set up Selenium grid with the Chrome browser, right? Then one more thing that we need to do over here, let me do like this within this. All right, so one more thing you need to do is you need to create the networking. All right, otherwise without the network, your Selenium grid and your application will not be able to communicate between, because these are two separate container, right? So in order to communicate between your Selenium grid and your application, you need to have some kind of bridge, network bridge, right? So for that, we need to create a network. All right, create a network and connect both container with that network. All right. So this is my network. Okay. So I write like this: Docker network create Selenium auto. Okay. Selenium automation. This is my network name. Okay. The next thing what we need to do is same network you need to provide in here in the, okay, anywhere you can just provide uh, network. Make sure there's a space after that. All right. Selenium auto. So this is your network, and also you can just provide the name also here for that. Okay. This is your Selenium grid hub, right? Because it's standalone, both hub and grid it will be configured. So just make sure the name is Selenium, all right? Or maybe any name you can just provide. Maybe Selenium grid. I'll just provide the Selenium grid. All right. This is the name. Then the next thing is you also need to use the networking also, network alias. So this network alias basically will be using in our application, instead of local host, we'll be using this as a host name, right? Or maybe the host IP address. It will act like that. Fine. Then this is your image. All right. So now your Selenium grid will set up successfully. The next thing that you need to do is same thing you need to provide in here in your application running also. Okay, space. You got the network. All right. So one more thing you need to do is okay. So this is the infra related change. Now you need to also do some changes to your application to run. Okay, instead of running in Chrome service, you need to run the grid. I think we did had somewhere. Okay, so here service. So instead of this, right, you need to have grid setup over here. How we can do that? Okay, so here you can see the host name. Host name basically we need to provide from there itself. When we run your Docker image, right? So in the runtime itself, we can provide this host name. Basically, this host name would be same as whatever we provide this here, network alias. All right, Selenium grid would be the host name. So we need to provide that somewhere as a environment variable, right? So we are basically reading it from the environment host name, right? This host name you can provide in here. While running this application, I can say here env host name equals I can see Selenium grid. All right, this is my host name basically, and this name is being used in my application in here, right? So, and this is your port path and protocol HTTP, right? So this is what exactly it is, and it will try to run your application in the Selenium grid instead of within this Chrome browser itself, within the container itself, right? All right, so let's see how this is working or not. I'll just commit these changes, add all. I'll just write something. Add Selenium grid. All right. Oh, sorry. Okay. Then git push. Let's see this time whether this is working or not. Now I go in here, go to actions. Hopefully it is working. Okay, we'll wait for that. Okay, now we can see Selenium grid also was successful. Okay, so in here you can see downloaded and running. This is the container ID. Then images also you can see this having the automation image. Then we have Selenium standalone Chrome image also is there. All right. And then the next thing what we can do is we just run this automation test, but unfortunately something wrong. See here, this is the Selenium grid that we provided is the host name, right? And network alias that we provided. It's not the local host normally, right? So yeah, you need to make sure you need to provide the network alias over here, right? Or the name of the container, the grid container. And there was some error. It seems the session didn't created because the thing is it will take some time to up and running this Selenium grid. Okay, so before running this automation test, you need to wait for some time, right? So if we wait for some time, then Selenium grid will up and running, then only we can run the test. So for that, let's wait for 5 or 10 seconds after this particular Docker run this Selenium grid, then we'll run that test. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is a new step that I have just now added, sleep for 15 seconds. Okay, so this is one of the utility library available within this GitHub Action Marketplace. Just get this for wait for 15 seconds. Okay, then after that we'll be running our automation test. Then we'll see whether this time it works or not. Just add all, commit, push. Okay, so now the new test should be triggering here. Okay, okay, we'll wait for some time and we'll see whether this all stages are completed or not. Yeah, we can see this here. It is running in the Selenium grid itself, right? This is your host name. This is your WD hub session, right? It's running perfectly, okay, within the Selenium grid in the Chrome standalone, right? And we can get the report. So I think one of the tests got failed. We can see the report to check what exactly the failure was. All right, I'll just get the report. Okay, let me see what is the report says. Oh, okay, so all the scenario got passed. Okay, that's cool. Right, 4 pass failed 0. That's okay, all green I think seems okay, right? This is the one. All right, so the next thing that we need to do is we can create a Docker Compose file where instead of, yeah, you can run one Docker command to do all the things. So you no need to create this network and this port, uh, meaning you don't have to write a multiple command for the Docker image, right? So you can have a one file which will take care of all the things like this volume, this everything. will be taken care of that. So that is called the Docker Compose. Okay, let's see how we can create a Docker Compose file. Okay, so create the Docker Compose.yaml file first. Then you can paste this information. You can also get those from Docker Selenium GitHub link. Okay, so in here you can go directly to the Docker Compose section. I believe it is in here, version 3. All right, so you can just copy and paste this information in here. So I did the same. I did some changes on here. Also, I'll just see. Okay. Okay. The first one is this is the services. Basically, we are running one, two, three, four, five services basically. Okay. So in here you can see this is image section. So this is basically getting the node of Chrome having the okay Selenium grid node with the Chrome installed. Okay, this one that the image, and it is depend on the Selenium hub basically. Selenium hub, if you see another service here, Selenium hub first. So that means it should run first, then only the node can run, right? Because when the node will run, hub will run and it will up, then only node can run and attach those with a Selenium grid hub. All right. So similarly for Edge browser also, it will get the node Edge version. This is image, and it will run. And these are some environment variables. All right. Similarly for the Firefox, and this is the hub. The next thing that here, okay, so this is till here all Selenium grid setup with the 1 to 3 browsers, Chrome browser, Edge browser, and Firefox browsers, right? And it will be also 4444 port number will also be exposed in the locally, right? That means in whichever environment or whichever operating system you are using or building this Docker compose file, then you will be able to access this 44 and 44 port number, okay, locally to that particular operating system, right? Meaning if I run in my machine, my Mac machine, uh, try to run this Docker Compose YAML file, then I should be able to access this 4444 port number with a local host. All right. Yeah. Okay. The next thing that is automation. Okay. So this is our automation where we'll be building our image from this Docker file. Okay. So the first one is the image with the image tag, whichever the image name that you want to provide. All right, you just provide in here. Then container name, basically when we run this docker run command, right? So there will be a container name we can provide. Okay, later on we can copy or something we can do from that container. Uh, uh, okay, within the container we can just get some information or some files or reports, etc using this container name. Then the build dot, meaning when you run this Docker Compose YAML build, then it will just run, try to build the image within the current directory. Basically, it will try to find the Docker file within the current directory. If this Docker file is in some other directory, you just provide the full path to that particular Docker file. Okay, so if it is present within the reporter, you need to write here reporter and Docker file name. All right. Then here depends on, so this automation will depend on all this up and running Selenium Hub and this node also, Chrome, Edge, and Firefox. That means we have 3 browsers available where we can run our test. All right, and this is the environment variable basically we are providing, which will be running within our automation. Because if you see, we did change this host name to to read from the environment variable, or this is or means is the default value as the local host. All right, I'll just save it here. If I want to run it locally, all right, locally how we can run? Okay, I go in here. I need to run Docker Compose. All right, so make sure Docker Compose is installed in your machine. Okay, so you can check and Google and how to install it. You can just install the Docker Compose in your machine, then it should be able to run Docker Compose build command. Okay, you just do the Docker Compose build. So these images, it will not build because it's not locally available. So it will just skip. And because we don't have uh, build tag over here, right? If you see Chrome, Edge, or these all, we don't have build. But for this automation, we have build command. So that's why it's building the automation. Okay, it will just build and tag the image, and then after that, we'll be running the Docker Compose up. So that means it will run everything. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so adding. Okay, now you see it's tagged the automation test latest whatever the tag image name that we have provided in here, right? Then the next thing what we can do is a Docker compose up, right? So if we use this, so it will basically run everything, right? Right? You can see that we have Firefox, we have Edge browser, so it's starting everything now, and it will register with the Docker Hub. Then after that, it will try to run our automation image. All right. So let's see if all works okay. Oh yeah, so now is you can see now it's running our automation test. Okay, it's trying to run, and you can see the host name over here. Maybe I'll just pause here. Okay, see the host name. Host name is HTTP, then Selenium Hub 4444 WD Hub session, meaning whatever the host name we provided in here, right? This Selenium Hub, so it's taking that one, this host name, right? Environment variable. So it's trying to run everything. Okay, yeah, it's running perfectly fine. Now we can see all the tests got passed, right? Completed and passed. Also, you can see, yeah, you can see here Selenium grid that is running on 4444. This is the UI index. So this is here you can see all the session. There are no session because all the session now got uh, deleted, right? So you can see this Chrome browser, Firefox, and Edge browser is available, right? So yeah, so this is how it will work. So when we just close it, Control C or Command C, it will close everything now. Right. So let's see how we can do and run the same thing within our Git GitHub Actions. Right. Okay. One more thing. I think the volume basically we need to. So if you remember, we did something for volume, like we created a volume so that we can copy the HTML report from the container itself, the automation container to the current directory. So same thing we need to also do in here in the automation service over here, right? So you just need the volume, then dot reporter, and within that we have the app reporter. So this is the path within the Docker image itself, and this is the path of the current directory. All right, so this is all Good. So what we can do is now change this here. Instead of running this all, we don't need at all those things, right? What I can do, I'll just remove in here. So upload artifact thing, we need it. So I'll not change anything in here. All right. Okay. So I just commented all the unnecessary code after using the Docker Compose. So now we can see how many lines that we can remove from this uh, YAML file, right? So no need to create and those kind of things already covered within this Docker Compose file itself. So only this 3 line is enough, right, to run everything, all these uh, 3 browser and your automation test, right? So only 3 lines would be there. So yeah, we can remove those. So make sure when you run first time, and if you want to run with the Docker file itself without using the Docker Compose, then just comment this line and uncomment this code, right? This and this. Then this one is common for both. So this is for artifact, right? Okay, so now we'll just commit these changes and we'll see whether this is working or not. Okay, so after commit, now you can see this Docker Compose is running. Okay, so yeah, now you can see that this is running over here. 1 second. So basically what happening over here is keep running because it's not in detach mode. So that's why it will just keep run and it will not go to the next stage, right? So what we need to do is uh, we need to run it in detach mode minus D. It will run in the detach mode so that once it is completed, it will not keep hanging there. It will just go to the um, next stage. All right. I'll just add it and commit, push. Right now we'll see what is happening. I'll just cancel this one and go to in here. Now you can see the new one is running. All right, so now you can see it's pulling the image for the Firefox. Then it will pull the image for Chrome, Edge browser. Okay, so you can see it's now building our Docker image, building our automation image, right? Okay, so now it's doing the npm install. Okay, you can see I think there is one issue over here. So basically what happening is it's creating the Docker container and it's just saying it's done once the container is created, but it's not waiting till all your Docker image is being completed. Okay, so that's why there are no report is being generated yet, right? So to do that, what we need to do instead of using the detach mode, that's it for this video.